Okay, here we go. Alright, there's another video here. This one is going to be, like I said, about the Verdi darts. You'll have to excuse me because I've changed location entirely due to my guild being constantly ransacked and me having to sacrifice infamy here. My goal is, in this video, you will probably see me using it. And, it might not go over too well because my infamy is pretty high. I'm red named. I can't get out of PvP mode. I'm hiding in the woods somewhere, and Jade Warriors is pretty pissed off. Alright, so in this video I'm going to go ahead and start counting down through Verdi Dart skills and explaining things. Verdi Darts is actually pretty simple, but at the same time it can be very complicated, and if you can get through the complications and understanding it, it goes from being a simple spam set to something that you can time and kind of learn to master here. Now, the first thing you need to know about Verdi Darts is that you have only 3 skills. You have 3 combat skills. The first one is Meteor Chases the Moon, which is, hold on, oh no, that's Lavaz, okay. I thought I was about to get fucking killed here. The first one is Meteor Chases the Moon, which is a single dart skill. Smile, Lavaz. And the second one I have listed here is Flying Flowers, and that one actually hits you 3 times for a nice little amount of damage. Then the second one is Summon Spirits, which, like I said, is the 10 seconds cooldown parry break. It's pretty good to have, pretty good to know, pretty good to love and cherish. And then I'll get to the other 3 here in a minute. Now, when you use them, you have to keep in mind which ones you've used, because your enemy is going to keep in mind that as well. So your enemy is going to know that you have Meteor Chases the Moon, Flying Flowers, and Summon Spirits. So they know if you throw 1 dart at them and it doesn't break their parry, then that means that you used Meteor Chases the Moon. And they know this because if they're blocking and only 1 dart hits them and it doesn't break the parry, there's a pretty good chance that the next skill you're going to use is to try and break that parry. So you want to determine when to break their parry from range and when not to. One of the tips that I use here, Lavaz better not go into PvP mode and start punching me while I'm doing this video. One of the things you need to know that a lot of people don't catch on to is if you go into your skill books and you go to your basic skills, you have a normal dart attack. That normal dart attack just throws a kunai, throws one of your little darts, and it hits them. It's a real simple thing. It's got a 1.5 cooldown, and you can spam that dart constantly. You can constantly spam this dart for small amounts of damage over time. I don't know why I actually didn't have it on my skill bar here. And it causes confusion. Using that dart will mean that you now have this other dart on your skill bar that you can cycle in tangent with all your other cooldowns to confuse the opponent on which actual dart you threw. Did they use Meteor Chases the Moon? Did they use Summon Spirits? Which, what the hell are they doing? We don't know what they're doing here. This is extremely helpful for you to trick an enemy into thinking you used 1 skill when you didn't. Specifically, that parry breaker. You want them to block so you can break their parry. That is a key component to Verdi Darts. If they are blocking, they're not taking as much damage as they could, and it is very difficult to kill them as fast as you would like. So, trick them as often as you can till they're blocking, but remember, if they are blocking and you use Flying Roses on them, which is the 3 darts attack, if you hit them with that 3 darts while they're blocking, they know instantly you're going to be pissed off and you're going to try to break that block. Don't try to break their block after you use Flying Flowers, because then you have Summon Spirits on cooldown for 10 seconds, and your Flying Darts can be back up half that time, and you're going to want to use it again, and you're not going to be able to. So all you're going to be able to do is run around spamming Meteor Chases the Moon, or now your normal dart attack. So you don't want to do that. You want them to block so you can break it. That's your goal, is to break that block and spam Flying Flowers as often as you can. Yeah, I'll get some in a second. And that would be family talking to get chicken. So now you know at the end of this video, I'm going to be eating delicious chicken. Now, anyway, as for the other skills, there's the infatuated and the soul with moving threads. Oops. Now, the soul with moving threads, this is a important buff skill for Verdi darts. Don't think that you need more damage, so trying to use possessed from your other skill set or whatever is a good idea. It's actually quite false. This gives you and Levaz is naked. This gives you a speed buff so you can move faster. Now, if you have this speed buff leveled up, maxed, the buff that it gives you is equal to the speed buff of Following Madness, which is 50%. So a 50% speed buff when running away from a target, you run outside of their hitbox. So this counts it as an automatic dodge. A lot of people think that this is a bug, this isn't supposed to be that way, it's not fair, na 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 na, complain, complain, whine, whine. No, it's not fucking a bug. It is a part of the game, that's why it's a dodge, and it's not their fault that they can't catch you. Learn to stun, noob. So, you know. Anyway, while Levaz is out there apparently fisting things, we'll move on to Infatuated. Now, what Infatuated does is that causes every single dart you have to slow them down. So not only now are you moving 50% faster with your defensive buff, you are going to slow them down extremely, and it feels like you're going to be going fucking 75% faster than them because they slow down and you speed up. The change in movement speed is ridiculous, and you want to use that tactic to stay out of their hitbox at all times so you can constantly spam darts at a defensive position. That is why Verdi darts is a open field tactic. You want to make sure you have a lot of room to run around, and you want to make sure that you're good at moving around. If you can't move around very well and all you can do is just kind of in a circle and they're in melee range, you're screwed. Now, the defensive buff. The only way that it's active is by blocking. When you block and you hit somebody, they hit you, that's when it gives you 30 seconds of movement speed. It gives you that 30 seconds because that 30 seconds is enough for you to get away and probably kill the target if you're paying attention. So, if you get in the situation where you need that buff, or you are too close in melee range and they're probably going to kill you, you're in a bad situation. You don't want to be put in that situation. So what I advise for using Verdi darts is to get rid of that situation first. So you want to put yourself in a melee situation even though you're using Verdi darts. So if you have that buff ready, basically just get close to them, block a few times, make them think you're going to do something else, and as soon as they block you and you get that movement buff, just start spamming and running away in one direction. Just fucking haul ass. Just go as fast as you can, get a long distance, and then just start spamming. Now, as for the problem with Verdi darts, the problem with Verdi darts is energy consumption. Leveling the Verdi darts actually doesn't make them too expensive on energy, but what makes them expensive is Infatuated. Infatuated adds energy. Like right now it says energy needed is 7, and my flying flowers is 20 energy. That's 20 energy per dart plus 7 per dart. So it's going to be 27 energy per dart, which over time can go out really, really, really quickly. So make sure that when you're low on energy, you turn off Infatuated simply by double clicking an icon up in the top, and that turns off any buffs that you have except for 7 limitations. And then turn it back on as needed. Some targets will need you to keep Infatuated on, and you'll have to learn to sacrifice your energy for your movement speed, and you'll have to learn to bring pills with you. That's pretty much the lowdown on Verdi darts. It's pretty simple. And then of course there's the rage skill, chasing one's souls. Max this as soon as possible. Like literally as soon as you are able to get the Verdi dart skill set, max that skill out. I haven't even done it yet, so I'm an idiot. What it does is it increases the damage of the darts, which is fantastic. It's a very low anger cost, so you can build it up within your first 3 or 4 hits of Flying Roses. And then it also increases the parry endurance. It doesn't increase the parry endurance. It increases how much parry endurance they lose when you hit them. So even if they're blocking, you can still deplete that parry endurance pretty quickly and break their parry with just with using Chasing One Soul by spamming Flying Roses. That's pretty much it for Verti Darts. The rest is exercises that you can do to kind of run around and practice Verti Darts. We'll do those as well in a separate video. At the end of all the verbal stuff, I'll do all the physical things in one video, so that way when we actually do training, you can watch that video and we'll go over each one. Like for example, the previous video was a defensive dropping your guard. That's one of the exercises. We'll do 25 rounds of that in a row, and so on and so forth. Alright, the next one will be alright, the next one's going to be probably Shadow Chasing Sting, so keep an eye out for that one.